on time. First time in a long time we're on time.
Yes, sir.
Hats off to Showtime for showing up right on the money.
Right on the money.
After a nice week off, what's going on, everybody? We had a little week off there, a little mishap. You know, Jan was supposed to come on.
Jan,
he had too many. Yeah,
Jan
I don't know who that guy is. So then he had a little bit too many Coke and Rums at nighttime, and then
now he made the list, buddy. Once you're on the list, you're never off either.
But
Max knows I got a list.
Oh yeah. No, but everyone was asking, we'll get Jan back on. Obviously he lives in Germany, so he was in Vegas. He wanted to do some type of a show when he was here because the time zone was closer. But just the way he was bouncing through hotels and whatnot, just that time couldn't fall to where we wanted it to. But we'll get Jan back on. That's number one. Number two, we got a new sponsor.
We do?
We do. Can you see him on the screen?
Oh.
You got to get your glasses on.
I don't have my glasses on.
You got to get your glasses on.
That looks like Corgi.
Corgi Scales stepped off.
Nice.
Chaos Hobby Sports, his website. He used the one we had on last week, Schumacher Canada, and he also has a full hobby shop, SMC. So huge thank you for Corgi for stepping up, being a sponsor of the show. That helps out big time. Check out Chaos Hobby Sport. They're doing a lot for Canada. They're bringing a lot of stuff in. They're really pushing the Schumacher stuff. So if you're interested, send him a message. He's a super, super, super nice guy.
Almost as nice as me.
Sure. What's going on, Nate? I saw Nate this week. Nate came up to Ransomville and watched us run the real car. Nate and great. I met Mrs. Nate.
Yeah, is the mom? Mom and Nate?
I met the mom. Yeah.
She's awesome. I heard she thought it would be bigger. Right?
Yeah, she came up to my car and she goes, "Yeah, oh, your race car, it's so cute." Oh, thanks. I feel like a badass strapping in, I got my helmet on. Your car is cute. Oh, thank you. What's going up, Luigi? How are you? Hopefully see you guys Saturday. You better make it happen. Hopefully not. Just come to the track.
Yep.
All right. Let's get into this one. I don't want to hold up any longer. This one's a highly recommended guest. And before the show, we call him the Silent Assassin. That's our new nickname for Shawn.
Okay.
So, secretive guy. But one of the most respected names in 12-scale racing, a top racer, a world championship winning mechanic, and a key part of Awesomatix 112-scale program. He spent years competing and helping drivers perform at the highest level. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit of racing, cars set up behind the scenes, and the evolution of 12-scale racing. Everyone, please welcome the one and only Silent Assassin, Shawn Rayfield.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Shawn, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Much better now that you're on the screen.
Look at the hardware back there.
Well,
look at that, baby.
That's what, that's Silent Assassin.
Yeah.
And one of those trophies, believe it or not, is a world's trophy.
It is.
Is it?
Yep.
It is. Yep, the silver one.
Nice.
So that's what I mean. Shawn's that silent guy. He doesn't blicker on Facebook like Drew Ellis, He's quiet, humble.
We are very opposite.
But before the show, we have to figure this out, Shawn, because before the show, you and I were speaking there with Mark came on. And I said, because you guys only live 20 minutes apart, you and Drew.
Yes.
So I think it's only right that you go one way. And you said never. But there's got to be a dollar amount we said. There's got to be something.
No, there's Drew's a good guy, and I ran for X-Ray for about a year, and there were some other opportunities for me. So I went a little different direction, and then through that direction, got hooked in with FJ and Roche at the time, and then that has led to the Awesomatix thing. So Drew's a great guy, and that, but I'm pretty solid on my Awesomatix thing. So I think I'm here to stay for a long time.
I don't know. $500,000 a year sounds good.
There's guys that know me know that I'm not too much about the money.
Okay.
Don't believe anybody, Max. Just like nobody will play for the Yankees, right? Except when the money talks, all of a sudden, love the Yankees.
Then you tell the wife, RC America offered me this, Yeah. I don't know. I think you just like FJ's laugh more.
It's very distinctive, isn't it?
It is. No matter where you are, you can hear, anywhere you go.
Yeah. When FJ gets to the track, he's there.
Yes.
Oh, God,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And when he's watching you on the track. You know when he's wrenching?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like there's a camera always on him that we're always watching because it's just vocals loud.
Yes.
But for many people that don't know, again, because you're quieter on the communication side of things, but you play a huge role in North American RC. For 12 scale, for example, Awesomatix 2, you just recently purchased and acquired FabTech.
Yes.
And mistake me if I'm not wrong, you do all the shipping and all the handling for Awesomatix USA.
I do. I have a warehouse here, so everything comes through me basically.
So when my order late, I message you.
What's that?
When my order doesn't show up, I come after you.
Well, that's still on Hanulek. He handles the customer service.
I just passed it already, man.
I just do the label.
It already. I just put it in the box, bro. That's all I do. That's put it in the box.
What a great job! Hey, you fucked up my order. Talk to FJ.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Shit, I might join Awesomatix.
Yeah, well, see, it's going to go the other way there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's worth $500,000. Fuck it. But yeah, you're involved in a lot. So I want to start a little bit with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been racing for a long time. 12 scales your passion.
Yes.
You're a master at it. What first got you into racing, RC cars back in the day?
So I started when I was 10 years old, actually. And I got a car for Christmas. I got a Hornet, a Tamiya Hornet. And just ran it up, up in the schoolyard and, down the street and stuff. And one of my dad's friends at work, he actually raced, and we went out to the track, and it just happened to be, it was off-road, but it was inside, like it was a carpet track set up in a gym at a school. And so that kind of got me hooked right there. And then, I think I got a Frog or something like that just to run. And it kind of just started from there. And I started running every kind of summer. And then the outside track, they decided to go inside again at a different place. And they had a 12 scale track eventually about a year later. And I started running 12 scale there because that's back in the day, that's all there was. For on-road, it was just 12 scale. So that's kind of where my 12 scale stuff kind of started at. And then ran a lot of off-road and on-road until I was about 18. Had a lot of good runs. I won a Norcar, or Norca, actually, not Norcar, but Norca four-wheel drive championship, like in '87 or something. But I couldn't win a national title, nothing. I finished second so many times, had enough hands and fingers and toes to count. So, so when I was 18, I went full-size racing. And I did that for 22 years. So I was away from the sport for like 20 years, roughly. And ran dirt modifieds and late models for a long, long time. And then after that kind of ended, I came back. And it just happened at the time Drew was starting up pro level, and just came back running 12 scale again, basically. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's kind of my background. So and the chassis stuff with the big cars and stuff, I actually had my own chassis shop, and had that and raced for a living for like 3 or 4 years. I actually raced big cars and stuff and built race cars for that amount of time.
Late models?
Late models.
Chassis?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually on, so when we start building cars, it was modifieds, UMP modifieds,
UMP, yeah. Okay.
Down in our area.
Like Schrader and them all run?
Yeah, Schrader, yeah. Kenny Wallace, Schrader and
so not like,
all of them guys, I ran with them guys quite a bit. But I started building modifieds, and that took off. So I didn't want to compete against my customers. So then I went late model racing, and instead, so I'm doing the modified thing. But yeah, we built modifieds for quite a few years and won a lot of races and a lot of track championships with our cars and that. So it was pretty good. It was just very expensive, and so that kind of came to an end and stuff. And then I just kind of went back to work and back to racing just myself, with the big cars. So that's where kind of my mechanic stuff comes in, from big cars and, running all the geometry and stuff, in the front ends and, and the dirt cars. I mean, Max, you're probably familiar, you got 4-bar cars now, and the rear ends move around and all that stuff. So it's fairly complex, in that. So I kind of understand the geometry and stuff, which helps me with the 12 scale cars a lot. So a little bit of my background there.
Oh, that I'm listening in awe because I did not know any of this. I had no clue. Mark and I are dirt track fans. We're going to some races this week. We're going to watch the sprint cars.
Yeah, even Schrader and them are here up at Schwiegen. I think they.
That's right. Yeah. Kenny Walsh is there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm a huge sprint car fan. I think that's the best racing. World of Outlaws, High Limit. I don't think there's any other racing that's better. That's just, I get into that argument with Dumper all the time when he brings up late models. I say when the late models come on, that's when I go get my fries. And he gets
that's why I fall into the
and he calls sprint car racing.
But that's okay.
Yeah, and he calls sprint car racing follow the leader, right? So we have that argument every time we see each other.
Yeah, and it's okay to argue with Dumper, so that's okay.
Oh, it's entertainment.
Yeah,
exactly. Just check out the tattoo on your wife's calf, right? She's got a sprint car, not a late model.
Yeah,
right? Mandy does. Yeah, so it's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's badass. So you won a lot of races then on the dirt. It sounds like.
Yeah, I've won a lot. I think it's over 100 features.
You've won?
Huh? That I've won?
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I've won a couple of big national shows.
We didn't do our homework on them, buddy.
Paid $5,000. I mean, back then that was big money back then.
Yeah.
We've won some of that and won a Missouri state title with UMP, and I think 5 track championships myself, and then I think we won 6 or 7 as a car builder also.
So did you race against Bloomquist?
I never ran against Bloomquist. We never crossed those paths with Bloomquist, but
I always thought he was from that area.
Yeah, he's in Indiana, or was in Indiana. Okay. So, but he was more on the touring super late model stuff, and we ran more local stuff with our late model, and then we ran a lot of crate stuff because that started coming about, and we actually did really well there. We actually ran good with that, and actually was making a little bit of money as far as in the season making money. You never make money racing.
No.
But we would win enough that we could keep going every week and actually put a little bit of money in the bank, to pay the bills every week and and end of the month. And that went well. But yeah, I never got to run against Bloomquist. I ran against a lot of other guys like Shannon Babb and Fedger and a couple other guys. Brandon Shepard.
Shepard.
Dad a lot. Actually, his dad, we raced against him a lot. So
yeah, I thought because when they come to your neighborhood, right? If you guys had a $5,000 race, I'm sure some of them would show up.
Yeah, someone would show up. We would go up there too, like the Fairbury, and that type of places, and the Falls, which I think they're at Falls this week sometime, late models.
Okay.
So we would go up there and run against some of them guys up there every once in a while. So yeah, it was a good time.
Sounds like
I can tell you drive the piss out of the car.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling because I saw
just driving angry.
Shawn is so nice, loving. Then he gets in the race car. I could just see him riding the cushion full.
As soon as the bucket goes on.
Well, I saw him post a video of him in his Corvette a couple of weeks ago, and I think he thought his street was the dirt track. Was what he was doing out there. I was like, Shawn's driving that. So congratulations on your new purchase. Also, by the way, I saw you picked up a new ride.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Fuck, we got to switch to Awesomatic, Mark.
Someone just said right here, Mark needs an Awesomatix car. Is that Andre?
Andre, yeah.
Yeah, well, we can hook you up. So
We're talking to the guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm just part of the guy. It's it's still, Hamlick still owns it. So
that's all right. Just ship it.
Oh,
that's all.
Just send us some cars.
Send us some cars, right?
Yeah, Hanulik said it was okay. No, but that's very interesting. And then so obviously things get expensive and maybe tastes change as you get older, and then you transition back into RC.
Yeah, I kind of had a couple bad wrecks there my last 2 years, and that kind of played into it a little bit, and a lot of other things, the financial stuff and the tire stuff was getting out of hand with how we had to, how we had to prep the tires to stay competitive, and that was getting to be just a nightmare, actually. And it was just like, you know what, I think it's just time to hang this thing up, and and we'll just kind of do something else.
A lot of SXT.
Kind of.
A lot of right rears. That's Jimmy, right? What was it? Yeah. $550 a race night for
what's that?
Rear? Hooping it and running his sprint car. That's what did him into was a tire bill.
Right? Oh yeah.
Right, his sprint car, same thing. He's like, it was like $500 or whatever it's getting up to for a right rear. You could burn it up in one night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we joke all the time. It's like almost like running 1/8 buggy.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
Or like running 12 scale.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, our budget and stuff there. I mean, we always planned that we were going to lose 2 tires a night. That
adds up quick.
It adds up quick, yeah. Then the late model, I think when I quit, I think they were $175 a piece.
Yeah, US.
But that was my last year was 2011, so we're talking 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
So now I think they're up close to $300 for a late model tire now.
Oh, that sounds about right, Max. Like a top wing. Remember when Jimmy was running? Right back in even that year that he's talking about, top wing was like 600. Now they're like 1,500 up here for a top wing. I think he told me now.
Yeah. Everything's going up,
Yeah.
Big cars, RC cars, everything's just gets more expensive every day, right? So,
you miss it?
I miss driving the car every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I've went a couple times to the racetrack and took my daughter when she was a little bit younger. We went finally once, and I was missing a little bit. And then one of my buddies I knew, he was like in a second heat race with a modified, and he went in there and pretty well got totaled out. And I'm like, you know what? I don't miss it anymore because I don't have to fix it and I don't have to pay for it. So, but yeah, I mean, driving the car, obviously, I mean, there was nothing like it,
Max is finding that out right now.
I have, it's not anything like, a race car, you go there and you set that car in the corner, like at Eldor or whatever, you go up there, and you set that thing in there at 150 mile an hour and you're right back on the gas, and, there's nothing like it. There just isn't. So, so I miss it a little bit, but I don't miss it enough to even think about going back.
I don't know. I could see like a nice side piece sponsor.
Side piece should sponsor,
Side piece sponsor along the side.
Yeah, nah. My time has come and gone on that, and now we have the small cars, and it's a little safer. So
yeah, a little safer.
So yeah,
oh, the same price, just a little safer.
Yeah, it's a little cheaper. But we didn't say you go to big cars, you just add a 0 behind it.
Yeah, Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dimitri's in the chat. Dimitri Kondrax. I'm sure you know him. Dimitri.
Oh yeah, hi Dimitri. Yep.
Dimitri, I've had some Awesomatix cars before.
Yeah, I've sent Max parts and stuff.
Oh yeah. You've also looked at one of my cars and said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did.
And I said, I don't know. That's why I'm bringing you the car. So then you come back to race RC, and 12 scale is your thing. You've just been
12
locked in
scale.
on 12 scale.
Yeah, I mean, from when I was about like 15, I mean, 12 scale was my thing. So when I came back, I called up Sean Cochran. I'm sure you guys know Sean Cochran.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out there with Associated and that still. And Reedy, whatever part he's doing with Associated and them guys now. I called him up and said, hey, I'm coming back. And I got an Associated car. And he actually sent me a touring car too. And because the touring car when I left was just kind of starting to come about. Never even had a touring car, but he sent me one and paid for that and stuff. And I drove it a little bit, and it just kind of wasn't my thing. So, but the 12 scale cars. So yeah, I just started, back with 12 scale, and we just kind of, went from there.
Well, was that the last time you raced a touring car?
No. Billy Sider. Usually in the summer times when Drew had his track, I would do something different. Like when I was running for Associated, back, I don't know, like, oh man, probably like 2015 maybe. They came out with their F1 car, and I did some testing with that over the summer for Associated. And so I would do something a little different during the summer. Like I'd run a GT12 car, or I'd just do something just a little different, just to put a wheel in my hand, because I only ran like once a month during the summer, trying to take a break. I don't know, a couple of years ago, probably 4 years ago now, maybe, Billy Sider, I had him build me a touring car. And I drove that for about a month, maybe 2 months. And I ran a little more because he was coming down. I ran about twice a month with that. And after about 2 months, I had enough of that too. So. So that was the last time I drove a touring car. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
You just love the grip and steering that the 12 scale car can offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When I put input into the steering wheel, I want the car to do what I want it to do. And, and the touring car is a little bit what I feel on the lazy side. Even though the car rotates and stuff in the center, right? But that initial input, it's just a little slow and stuff as far as the rubber tire. That's what I feel anyway. And the cars just feel so much better on a foam tire. So it's kind of like 12 scale. That foam tire, I don't think you can beat it. So.
Yeah, until you have to go true some or pay for it.
Well, the Truant I had no problem with. The pain for it, yes, that's been an issue, right? It's been discussed, I guess, multiple times, but I wish there was a better solution. I've talked to John when he owned BSR and stuff, because I was running for him, and when I came back, Jack from Jayco was basically kind of starting to get out and selling off his stuff. Because I ran for Jack with Jayco when he first started. I was one of the first guys he sponsored way back in the day. And but I talked to John, and then in that, and there's just, I guess it's just so much work to go into the tire. And now that Tommy's taken over with BSR, I've talked to him too, and it's just a lot of man hours to do a 12 scale tire. And it's just, the cost is kind of just what it is. And it's not, if you run on a weekend, you can get away with one set. You can run 3 qualifiers and a main on a set of tires. So it's not too bad for the performance that you get out of the tire. Like I said, the rubber tire, it doesn't quite run like a foam tire. So, I think that cost for the foam tire is worth it. Now, when we go to big races, the cost does creep up there versus a touring car tire. but it's not. I don't think it's totally that extreme. You know, if a guy's paying, if they're 30 or $40 a set now for touring car tires, is that correct? Is that what they are roughly?
Up here it's Canadian.
Yeah.
We're 55, $60 now Canadian at a hobby shop.
Yeah, so let's just say you go to Big Race and you buy 3 sets, it's $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
So typically we're going to go through 4 sets of tires, 3 qualifiers and a 4 qualifiers and a main.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go through 5 sets, at $25 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go through $125 worth of tires just for racing, right?
Yeah.
And then we have some practice tires, and you're probably going to go through 3 or 4 sets in practice, roughly. So you're going to run 8 sets, 9 sets. So yes, our tire bill is probably double.
Mm-hmm.
Around $200 at least. But it kind of is what it is. If you want to run 12 scale, the cars are a little bit cheaper, than a touring car. So there's a little cost offset there. So if you kind of factor in everything, it kind of probably washes out in the end, So maybe a little bit more for a 12 scale car, but the performance I think is, a little bit better on a 12 scale car.
Yeah, I think that's the huge part. Like you nailed it on the head. People complain about the tire bill, but the cost now to buy a touring car and build it and half the hop ups you need now, it's significantly more than a 12 scale car.
Yes.
Not even close.
Right. Even and 12 scale cars are getting more expensive as we go too.
Right.
But the touring car keeps creeping up, the same, about the same, as a 12 scale car now, so that price difference kind of is staying the same now.
Yeah.
So, when you factor all that in and you guys are still buying tires when you go to a race, we're $100 more maybe or so, but our cars are half the price, right? If we're spending $700, $800, for a race ready car, versus, a touring car is probably what, $1,500 now, race ready, $1,600. So we're roughly half, right?
Yeah.
So that tire difference, it kind of goes into the price of the car a little bit. So in the end, I think it kind of balances out.
Well, especially when you guys keep releasing new freaking chassis.
Yeah.
Because you got to buy them. If you're a racer, you have to try it.
Yeah. I just have to keep moving, I just have to keep moving stuff around on the shelves to add all the chassis, into stock,
Because now you guys just obviously released the new titanium 1.5 mil chassis.
Yes.
So how's that been selling for you guys? Just curious.
Good. Yeah. We've been sending out a lot of them.
Yeah.
Since they released them. So
Ty had 2 of them on Saturday, Max, when you weren't there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had 2 going already in stock.
Hopefully he bought them from Sidepiece.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. So yeah, tires is a big thing in 12 scale. Yeah, it's never going to change. But you nailed it on the head. The price is half. At the end of the day, it all equals out to par.
Yeah.
It all equals close.
The thing is, it's just that tire bill you have to go pay, right? When you buy the touring car, you get that big bill kind of out of the way, right up front. Then you kind of don't see it, right? With the 12 scale car, you have to keep feeding it tires, more than a touring car. So
right now it's probably damn close. Right now with the gravities that we're running on, it's probably not far off.
Yeah, I know there's been some issues with that and stuff too. So it's all a little expensive, but the thing is it's a fun hobby, right? We race and we have fun, and if it costs a little bit of money, then so be it, right?
Yeah, and that's what we always talk about too, Max. Remember, you got the racer and you got the hobbyist, and that hobbyist sort of guy doesn't have to run a one-run tire. Yeah. You find out later the guy barely trues them and he's having a good time.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to run one-run tires. I mean, even at big races, you don't have to, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it was Nate and some of the boys, when they go to Cleveland, they'll run their one, whatever size they want, and they'll bring that, like you said, 4 and 1 for a main, but then they bring them back home and still get 1 or 2 runs at a practice or a club
Yeah, you
club.
can still run them at least once. And,
That's what they do, right?
yeah.
So they still get
Yep.
another run when they come back home. They're just putting on freshie every run at the big race, but bring them back home and run them till you hit plastic at home.
Yes.
And we do that in touring car tire, right? Bryce will
Yeah.
practice sometimes until that thing's ripped right through. We ain't putting on a new set. Just it's about ripping laps and don't crash.
Right.
Don't worry about lap times.
Right. Yeah. So.
Shawn, that's the one thing I could ask you. Maybe Max had it on his list, but around here in this area, or why is the dip in 12 scale racing? Like we have our only like our 3-4 guys. There's more guys starting to get cars again, but it's like guys just the ones that we had before, like say there was 18 sort of guys, now there's like 3. Do you think is this the tire thing is the only reason for that, or do you have an idea?
I think the tires is a little bit of it. You know, a lot of guys don't like the true tires. I actually, I'm weird. Everybody in 12 scale thinks I'm kind of weird, I guess. But when I true tires, it actually relaxes me. I mean, so I really don't mind truing tires too much.
Okay.
But a lot of guys, you know, the truing the tires, you know, is a thing. I think it's a little bit of that, and I think people's interests kind of change when they run. You know, like they want to run, you know, 12 scale for a little bit, and then they want to go and run touring car, you know, and then, you know, one of their buddies or whatever get a 12 scale car again, you know, and then they'll go back to running 12 scale again for a while. I think that's what the biggest thing is it's just a turnaround, you know. Guys' interest, you know, it changes and they want to, you know, try a different, you know, aspect of RC, you know, whether it's a, you know, a touring car or an F1 car.
That gentleman right there is like that, Mad Max. All of a sudden he shows up, I die laughing. I don't even know he put together some other car or something just to play with it.
Yeah.
There's been cars that he built before that he sold before he even hit the track. Max is like, we just get to the track and I go, Max, what the hell is that thing? It's an F1. Oh, that's cool. But it's sold. You stole it. You haven't put it on the track yet. Yeah, buddy over here just told me he gave me this much for it with all electronics and all that, so it's gone. So you didn't get to drive it. No.
I can always buy another.
Yeah, that's what he says. I'll just buy another one.
Yeah, and the other thing with the 12 scale thing is, you know, a 12 scale car is the best driving on road car that you're going to drive when it's right. It's the best car. On the opposite of that, when it's not good, it's the worst car you'll ever drive on road. So
the worst ones I ever see is I feel bad for us, and it's tough. And I think Max drove that class many times. But when I watch the guys around here with F1s, oh my God, either the F1 car works or it looks it's out of control, up and over the boards, in the bleachers. I feel when I watch that class, it's like either that car needs to be set up an F1 car or they are just ugly out there. But again, like you said, it's also on rubber tire, not foam, which is even making it more of
Yeah. So, you know, the 12 scales are a little finicky, and I think, you know, some guys, you know, they try it and then, you know, nobody's there to help them. And then they kind of go away, you know, or maybe the guy that kind of helped the guys with 12 scale or whatever, maybe, you know, he's quit for a while or he went to do something else and that help kind of leaves. And then there's no one there to help them. And then they just go, they run, and then they just run F1 or touring car, right?
Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky at the Rose. We're lucky at the Rose to have Carlo and Nate. They are like pan car guys. They ain't quitting pan car, and so we at least have that help for the guys there. Both of them are very helpful guys.
Well, and that's what RC needs in general, right?
Yeah.
You know, you got to have guys that help people. I try to help everybody I can. I don't. It doesn't matter to me if it's an Awesomatix car, an X-ray car, Schumacher, you know, or whatever. Guys have to have help sometimes just so they don't struggle. Because if they struggle, then they're going to quit or do something else. So I always try to help everybody and you know, and get their stuff, you know, at least where they can drive them and they can at least enjoy the car.
Well, I always tell Max too, being that he's young and I'm old. But 40 years ago, the first Cleveland I ever went to, and to watch those guys run, Joel Johnson and all them, I was in my glory as a 15-year-old kid. seeing how cool and how good they were and how fast. And well, Max watches now. He goes, I think a GT12 was faster than 12 scale mod in a 1986 or 87 video, but at the time, it was faster than hell. And to watch those guys drive was amazing, and how precise all their stuff was, and it was a real eye opener when you went to a big race back then.
Yeah, I was the same way. I think my first Cleveland was like 85 or 86 was my first Cleveland.
Yeah, and, I would have done anything to stand up there with that Trinity Godzilla shirt on. Never happened, but I always wanted one of those.
Yeah,
to be sponsored by that guy.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of people's thing back then. They wanted that Trinity sponsorship, right?
Oh yeah,
that was the thing to have back then, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now everyone's sponsored.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of seems like that. So,
sticking on the tire conversation for now, I had this debate all the time regarding 13.5 and mod 12 scale. Do you think personally that those should be spec tire classes as well?
I don't. I think we have to let the manufacturers, have some classes where they can kind of compete with each other. Let the manufacturers, come up with tires and kind of race against each other, right? A little bit. And, that kind of brings in a little more competitiveness, I think. And that way those tire companies can, survive, because the tire companies or any company has to survive also, because if they don't survive, then they go away, just like racers can go away. So I think at least mod 12 scale for sure needs to be open tire. There's some argument now, if they could work it out, where one company sponsors this race and the next one, and they all kind of come to a group, as companies, and they split it up so they can all kind of make some money. And now that might be okay. It works well at Worlds. I can say when we went to Worlds in 23, having that spec tire there in Florida, I think that was good. It made things easier. That's for sure. It definitely made things easier. But on the other hand, I think the tire companies have to have a resource to sell to.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on GT12 being on rubber tires and what that class created? I noticed that even at the Canadian Nats or a lot of the big races, it is probably one of the most popular in entries.
It is. I was to tell you the truth, I was against the rubber tire when they first came out with it. I was really against it, just because I'm a foam guy. And but with that being said, for the good of the sport and good for the racers, that tire, as long as it's a good tire, it runs like it should. I think that's definitely been a positive. Because it's easier for the guys to run GT12 and put the tire on, and they just run it.
Like we've noticed that at the Canadian Nats too, where somebody wanted to enter like their fourth class and they found some 12 scale car off a buddy, and they're in GT12 all of a sudden. I think you'd ask Maxie will agree to that. Like we've seen some names. I'm like, what the hell? You just entered GT12. Where'd you get the car? Oh, it's Thing's old car from 3 years ago. I just wanted to run another class. Thought it's simple, and you throw in the tires and away you go.
Yeah, and with that rubber tire, since it's not so critical. You can take an older car and be competitive.
Yeah.
And GT12. I do think that class needs to be kind of limited to who runs it. I ran it for a little while because some of the other manufacturers and stuff, and one of the tire manufacturers were bringing guys and paying guys to come race.
Yeah.
That class, and I didn't really totally agree with that. So I said, okay, well, we're gonna come and get involved now too. If that's going to be the case. and eventually that worked itself out for the good.
Yes.
And with all the top drivers, we kind of faded out of that, which is a great thing. We need that to be a class for, not necessarily a total beginner, but guys
Yes.
that are trying to learn 12 scale racing. And that's what that class needs to be, is,
that's the way I always felt.
stepping stone.
Me and Max and my Canadian Nats crew go over that all the time. It's like, we always like a class, whether it's a 12 scale class or a touring car class at the Nats, that, that can be just somehow for a guy that's, not sponsored and is shirt up there with all the stuff. But it seems like then they go the other way and I get messages saying, well, that's not right. I like that class. And now you tell me I can't run it and blah, blah. I'm just like, well, I don't know. I feel, why are you still in that class? Or why do you want to, let somebody else win, or let those guys battle it out.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. So everybody's got to kind of keep in mind that we got to get new people, right? And even if they're, like new to 12 scale, if we want 12 scale to survive, we have to have new people in 12 scale, whether that's a total new guy coming to the sport or somebody coming from an F1 car or a touring car.
Yep.
Well, if that's a way in for those guys, then that's a good thing. But it needs to be, a stepping stone. It doesn't. I don't think it does GT12 any good for a guy like myself, or
I know what you mean.
Andrew Knapp, or
to win Cleveland.
Dagger,
1, 2, 3 is you, Dagger. Dagger and Knapp are 1, 2, 3 in GT12.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good for really anybody. I don't even think it does any good for the chassis sponsor, that they're running for. I don't think that helps it. I think it hurts it, because guys don't want to go run if they know they're probably going to be down in the B main before they even get to the racetrack.
Yeah.
But if those guys, if we're not in it, and those guys have a chance to, make the A and stuff, well, then they're going to come run. And that's what we need. We need guys to, to come and run classes.
Well, even that LMH class, and we talk about that, I don't know. I keep on saying, well, if you want us to have another, how about LMH? These type of guys are not allowed to run that. I'm just saying on the touring car side, you already have mod 2017, mod 21 and a half, 25.5, LMH.
Yeah. How
about a class that doesn't have that sponsored driver in it? Let those boys battle it out.
Yeah. Sometimes the racers, we have to be saved from ourselves, because racers, we can run a class faster than we can make a class.
Oh yeah, we've seen it done over the years for sure.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So we have to keep those classes, and yes, some guys need to stay out of it, and that's where it needs to go. Like LMH, I guess you guys don't have in touring car. You don't have the GT class anymore. Maybe LMH is kind of taking that over, I guess.
Yeah.
But you have to have that so guys can get racing experience, and then they should move on,
Yeah.
And then if they get good or win some races or whatever, they move up maybe, But we have to have some stepping stones.
Well, that was, again, I go back old school days, but a guy would love to finish 8th or 9th in the mod A main, then win stock A main. Now the guys, I see it as, no, they want to win. I want to stand there with my first place trophy. But come to realize that making that show with the big guys is still more than winning one of the other classes. Right? Sure. That's always thought the same way. Just sort of, I used to like when guys would move up. Even Max gave it to my kid pretty good. So my kid was complaining about touring stock and not fat, right? And so Max just convinced him or told him, okay, Bryce, you love running mod all the time, touring mod, put on your big boy pants this winter when we start and run 12 scale mod. So when they go together, these big races, he's going to run just the 2 mod classes. I'm like, yeah.
There's 2 different schools of thought, when I started, it was like go to Cleveland, right? Mm-hmm. It was 12 scale mod and 12 scale stock. Mm-hmm. That was it. you know, and you know, and you started at the bottom and you tried to work your way up. You know, I mean, it was nothing to go to Cleveland and you know, and you're in the, you know, you're in the double Z main.
Do you remember that year? I was there that year.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I mean, I think it went down to the Y or something. I think.
Yeah. And, I was in my glory. I still remember. I might have kept one of those trophies. I think it was third in a D main in stock. And then somebody asked me why you got a D main trophy, because I said it went to Y or Z. I was happier than hell I made the D.
Yeah. So, you know, but it was a thing to work yourself up in that, you know, and but now, you know, we don't quite have that. We have so many classes now. And I don't think we're ever getting away from, you know, having so many classes, but those other classes just need to be stepping stones and have those guys move up as if we only had maybe, you know, 2 classes or 4 classes total, right?
Gotcha.
Something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And, but it's gotta be stepping stones.
Yeah. And those guys got to take the fucking step.
That's
and then
when I see guys going from mod who were top 10 Roar mod drivers, and then the next year at the Roar Championship, they're running 25.5.
They went backwards. Yeah.
And it's, that's pathetic. It's like going to run 410 sprint car and making the shows and coming top 5, and the next year you're running a crate car.
Yeah, that's what, you know, you run out of money though too, you know, and you still want to race, but you don't have, you know, $300,000 in your budget. You know, you only have, you know, maybe 100,000, so you got to go run a crate car.
Yeah, but the guys I'm talking about are getting paid to go there.
Yeah,
and they're still deciding to run 25.5.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, you know,
I'm not going to call anyone's names out. I already told them at the Canadian Nats that they're a bunch of wussies. I think that was enough. You know, when I got a message from a top mod driver and they said, "Is there front wheel drive?" Like, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, no comment.
Yeah, you brought it up. We bring it up every
but you know, guys kind of want to go run what they want to run to. You know, it's kind of
that's
I know
it's hard. It's very hard. You know, and there's no right answer. That's the thing. There is no right answer.
When we talk about is there too many classes? That's our big one we always bring up
right.
And it's true. They keep adding classes, but you find out this guy in that area, that's all they run. You find out somewhere else, this other area only runs VTA and GT12 cars. That's all they run at their club.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm old and I remember the 2 classes and that's it. But you're right. It's never going to go back to that. And I just got
to and I've kind of changed on that. You know, you guys have had podcasts that are, you know, about keeping tracks open. You know, tracks are closing up all over the place. You know, if you have, I guess in the end, it doesn't matter how many classes you have, as long as you're still bringing people to the racetrack. If it takes 10 classes to keep that operation going, then it takes 10 classes to keep it going.
Yes.
You know, and I would rather run 10 or 12 classes, like at nationals, on-road nationals.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather run 10 or 12 different classes than to have the nationals go away, and we don't have on-road nationals ever again, or you know, or for several years. I would rather just have the more classes and have the people come than what could be the alternative.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, 100%.
You know, and like I said, you know, there are no correct answers. You know, I mean, you just got to do the best you can.
The only correct answer for you is to buy an Awesomatix. No,
that's the only one. Buy Awesomatix.
Whatever class you want to run, buy Awesomatix.
Yes.
If they don't make it, then that class should be gone, right? If they don't make it, they don't make a car for that class.
No. You just run something else until we make it.
Like this class here. Don't run.
Oh, you're gonna get them going, Mac. When you said that a few weeks back, when you said we got to get World GTR, and then at the local club, it's the most cars ever came out after Max said that on Monday.
Oh.
Everyone bought cars, I guess. I said World GTR is not needed. Everyone bought cars.
So on the podcast, we tell Max all the time, mention some class to get rid of. Maybe Saturday there'll be a lot more.
And they'll pack that class and you have 10 or 15
Yes.
people, right?
Yeah.
The one, Nader was the best. He goes, I was heartbroken. He goes, I'm watching the podcast. I'm building one, right? And he says, get rid of it.
Do you recommend 12 scale for new people when they come in the hobby, or do you tell them to go touring car route first?
No, I'm a 12 scale guy. Through
You
and
sleep
through.
with it at nighttime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
We had a young kid and his dad. I don't know if you guys know Ryan Stevens or not.
Yeah.
They came to our track, and he had never really even driven a RC car very much at all. And they came and had a Schumacher 12 scale car, an old one, and so I kind of took him under my wing a little bit, and he started with a 12 scale car, and actually I gave him one of my cars, one of my old cars to run instead of that Schumacher car, and it's not that difficult to drive a 12 scale car. You just have to start off slow. When we started with him, I just turned him down like half speed, and we ran the car, for several weeks at half speed, or maybe even a little bit slower, just so he could get around the track and stuff. And he was a pretty sharp kid, and he picked up on it pretty well. I think it's fine for a 12 scale car to be a starter car, and that's where the GT12 would come in. The GT12 is a perfect car for a starter. Perfect. Not that expensive, because the kits are cheaper than touring cars.
Yep.
It's cheaper to maintain. You crash it and stuff. There's less parts to put back on that car, and so GT12 is actually I would think, the best place to start. I think for maybe anybody, just because of the cost, and then if they like touring cars and they come and watch and they're like, oh man, I like those, and they start getting around pretty good. Well, then if they want to go the touring car route, hey, that's great too, as long as they stay in the sport and hobby. Yeah. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
got to keep guys in the hobby, and and basically whatever that would mean, I think is the main thing. Whatever it takes to keep the new people in the hobby is the way to go.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, we talk about it all the time with the local guys here, whether it's the Canadian Nats or the Champs or some bigger race, and we convince them, you got to come. And they're just like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm going to finish. I said, it's not about where you finish. It's meeting new people, hanging out, blah, blah, blah. And then finally when they come, what a great time. I didn't care what main I was in. I met all these people. I learned so much. I said, that's the biggest one. You're going to learn so much. And I always used to bug everybody, even back when I raced a lot and we traveled all over. I said, my dad used to call it, his old theory was, once in a while when I thought I was too good, he'd call me a big fish in a small pond. So he goes, he'd bring me down a notch. We'd head down to North Carolina or somewhere to race. I get my butt whipped and we'd come back with my head down. It's like, there you go. There's always somebody bigger and there's always a bigger pond. But I'd rather go to those races and have that fun. And you know what I mean? Yeah, it'd be cool to win, but you got to go there with the attitude of beating. Okay, I made the C main last time I went to that race. Hopefully I make the B. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. And it's hanging with the boys, and then you get the odd guy that says, well, I don't want to go there and spend all that money. I want to go when I can win. And I'm straightforward. I just tell them, well, I hate to tell you, you ain't going to win. So you're never going to go, right? Because you're not going to beat those guys. You know what I mean? It's go there, learn, have a great time, hang with the boys, right, for a weekend, and come back.
And if you have some skills, you go to those, bigger races and you learn, and you learn things, and then you go to the next one, and you hang out and stuff, but you've gotten a little bit better.
Yes.
And now you've moved up a little bit, and then if you get, now you're maybe a racer and you want to try to win. You go to another one and you just keep trying to get better, and maybe one day, it happens and, and you're on the podium or you actually may win.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to keep trying though. You're going to get your butt kicked for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
But that just makes you better. That just makes you better.
Yeah. Yeah. If you only race against the same guys, you're not going to get better. If you race against the good guys, you're going to learn off them, get better. I mean, that's why the Europeans are typically really good, because they race each other on a weekly, monthly basis.
Well, that's
so
what we talked about back with, is it 180?
Yep, 180.
It's got the best. They got a Roar Nats every Sunday when they all get together. My Lord. It's all the best racers in the whole area end up at the same track. That's why they're all that good. They push each other every Sunday or Saturday or whenever they race.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Every week. Every week.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct. And I think that's the people have to get that through their brain. I'm sure, Shawn, even when you loaded up your real race cars sometimes and went to a race, you're going there that you're not going to probably fight for the win, but you're still going to learn, get better, track time, have some beers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back in the, and the early days of starting and stuff, that was the case,
Yeah.
And then, we got to a point where, we were one of the top guys.
Yep.
And, but I pushed myself to make myself better, because I wanted to be one of the guys that when I rolled into the racetrack, I wanted to say, oh man, well, that there's another spot I lost. In the big cars, I was, I went to win every night. Every night I went to win. I had to pay my bills. And, but I had to build my program to that. It didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It didn't happen in, 2 years or 3 years. It took 4 or 5 years just to, to get kind of where we needed to be. I was lucky enough. I guess I was graced with a little bit of talent as far as race car driver. I won my first feature, my 5th race that I ever ran.
Damn.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, that's what everybody said.
Max, you got one more left, no?
What's that?
I've done 6 features now with this car, so I'm past that.
Yeah.
So I'm shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I pushed myself. But I came from I came from an RC background.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew I needed decent equipment. And, so when I started, I didn't have the best, but I had the best I could afford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I knew kind of what it was going to take. And once, we had a few nights and we kind of seen what we needed, we went and bought a new motor. We knew kind of what we needed then, and what we had wasn't quite up to snuff. And, we put a new motor in like the 4th night and one on the 5th night. And, but back then that motor was $5,000. It would be like now going out and, you spent $10,000 on your motor, and now, what the guys needed is $30,000.
Yeah.
Well, I committed right there, and, we had to have a better motor. And if we're going, so you have to build yourself up though. You just have to keep going. And then, as the years went by, we just started, myself, my dad, and my wife Holly, and my mom, and all that. We just kind of kept putting money into the program, and eventually, we were one of the guys around here to beat in the big cars. And but it doesn't start overnight. That's just like when guys come to the RC track and they're new, or have come, from running their cars outside in the parking lots and, on the baseball diamonds and stuff. They come and you gotta try and help them, and get them to see the potential that they might have, to keep doing this, even if they can't hardly get around the racetrack. It's like, hey, come back next week. It'll be better next week. I guarantee you, you're going to get around the racetrack better next week, basically no matter what. And if you just keep them coming back and they can build their programs up, eventually, they may be a top racer at some point.
100%. Like our top RC guys, Bruno, when he first touched the radio, wasn't the best. Sam wasn't the best when he first touched it.
Yeah, everybody. We all started from nothing.
Yeah.
None of us, when we grabbed our radio, knew how to turn left or right on a controller, really. And, so we've all kind of learned, everybody started off basically the same.
Well, that's why I get upset at some club race. Sometimes some guys show up and they're like, "Oh, this is too intimidating." You know what I mean? Or I'm good on the street, but I came here with these 8-foot lanes, right? And I said we all started. Everybody started was terrible. There's not one guy up there should complain that you're in the way or you hit him in practice or whatever, because they all went through it.
Yeah.
Said 40 years in the hobby, I never seen anybody come in and be amazing. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Never has. No.
And I think that's one thing that I think that needs to be looked at, like our local, at the local stuff and that.
Mm-hmm.
The new guys, when they show up, somehow we should let them have their own practice sessions, even on a club day.
Bad idea.
They need to go out for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Even if it's just one guy, okay, and he's new.
Yeah.
And he's the new guy, and he hardly knows how to turn left or right. He should be able to go out there without everybody else around him, and the guy's trying to get out of the way, and we're running, and we're lapping them, twice in a lap or three, and because it's no fun for him. No. And it makes it hard on the racers and stuff, when we're, trying to practice and stuff, so I think somehow they need to have their own kind of little group or something.
Max and the boys got it pretty good, and taught my own kid Bryce that too, because I used to be the same way, watching him go up sometimes. Like, Bryce, okay, you already see there's 3 GT12s up there and a VTA practicing, and you're putting down your mod car. You know what I mean? Wait.
Yeah.
They're going to be up there for what, 5, 6, 7, whatever minutes. And then you notice it even at the club track now, you notice that next group will wait. You know what I mean? And then Bryce, Max, and some other guys go up in mod. There'll be some VTAs, and all those guys will stand and watch them practice. And when they come off, right?
Yeah.
The other type of vehicles. But if you mod guys want to go out there with those guys and then be upset with them, it's your fault. The better guy, to me, it's always, I put on the better guy's problem. The new guy's not trying to hit you. He's bouncing off boards.
No,
he doesn't mean to hit you. Once in a while, you get some guy. Oh my God, that guy! Do you really think he meant to jump over 3 lanes and hit you? No, he just
But as a racer, it's just your natural reaction.
Oh yes,
you just blew up. Your $1,500 touring car, and it's and there's pieces going across the racetrack, right?
Yes.
Well, that's just a racer in you, that has that moment, right off the bat, right? And then, if you kind of think about it, no, the guy didn't mean it, or, it just happens. And, but the thing is we can't, for the new guys and stuff, it can't be frustrating as far as with other guys out there, because it's frustrating enough for them just trying to get around the racetrack.
Stay within that 6 feet or 8 feet.
Yes. So, that's the thing, to keep, guys,
but that's
coming back. You got to keep
beauty.
Coming back.
That's a beauty idea, bro. I got to bring that up to Mike about doing that. You know what I mean? Hey Max?
Like every half an hour.
Yeah, every half hour or something, right?
Yeah, just something, just to help them, and really, you gotta help them out too, right?
That's the big one we do at the track too. Max is one of the biggest helps. I give him the most credit for that. But there's tons of guys at the roads that actually same thing, will help anybody's car. Give me your car. Let's try it out. Let's do this. I even tell Bryce all the time, run up there and drive that guy's car, right? And tell me what's wrong with it, or tell him what's wrong with it, or help him out, right? So even if it's a new guy, else, what I mean? Meet him, whatever. The guy's name's Steve. Steve, do you mind if Bryce? Oh, I'd love for Bryce to drive my car. Okay, so Bryce takes it around. He's like, oh, yeah, no wonder he can't drive it, right? It's so sensitive. It's so whatever. Let's tune this all down and make it easy for you to drive.
Yes. It's like I said, when Ryan started, I turned his stuff down right away.
Yeah.
And Drew, when guys would come to the track and, he had a car set up just for new guys to try, guys coming into the mall and stuff. He would have it turned way down so they could, drive it around the racetrack at least and stuff.
And if there's any problem with is actually the cars are all way too fast. It doesn't matter which class. If you were new and you picked up any car, it's so fast, everybody, right? The problem I see is that a lot of guys don't want to tune it down and learn from that. Like I told that same story when I first started racing. My dad actually was 12 scale. And my dad made my car slow as hell. If I hit anything, I had to go a tooth down. If I didn't hit anything, I got to go a tooth up. If I hit something again or got marshaled, I go a tooth down. His object of watching the hobby is like, whoever doesn't crash should win. So I'm going to teach you that You ain't gonna crash. My man froze.
Might have lost Shawn there.
He crashed.
Shawn, you there? I don't know. I saw a female face come in for a second. His wife was. You're talking about more RC?
The wife cut him off.
Yeah. Maybe.
Took away the internets.
Yeah, he's not in the thing.
He gone?
Shawn, you there, big guy?
She threw his laptop, maybe?
I don't know. She's probably. Oh. We'll see if he comes back here. Maybe she got mad. Too much RC. It's your job. Maybe talk about that at night.
Maybe she got tired of packing the Awesomatix.
Yeah. Where do I find this chassis? Where do I find this? Hun, another chassis from Awesomatix. This is the 7th chassis plate.
Who's well, Max, you can read.
You got past racing here. Yeah, GT12 has been a blast. No cars to 8 to 10 was locally. Yeah, 100%. GT12 is a great class. I think it's a great class. Obviously, the rubber tires, they last a long time. You have variety in the rubber tires of which CRC, etc. has tires.
How many times did you ran the class? A few times now, Max? No, you ran in Cleveland.
Yes, I TQ'd round 3.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
Yeah, no, it's a great class. The tires are great. I think the handout motor is huge. I love handout motor racing for spec racing. So everyone runs the USGT motor at the big races. Yeah, GT12 is a fantastic class. I would love to see all spec racing like Europe go to.
The touring car one. Like they do it. ETS is what, all handout still?
It's all handout. Yep, it's handout ESC, handout motor. There's RPM limiter.
Someone called you the genius here. You're just a.
Max is the GT12 genius.
Nate the Great.
Nate and I learned some stuff. We learned that caster is faster.
Yep.
In his World GTR. So yeah, no, GT12 is a great class, but again, like we talked about, some people need to move out of it. You know, like in my opinion, it's a good starting class, but it's time to go to the next class.
Well, we had a lot of guys from the Rose actually. Didn't they win Cleveland a couple times in a row? JB
won Cleveland this year.
Didn't Schaller win the other year?
Schaller's a GT12 champion. Yeah, the Canadians, we have done a very good job at those classes. GT12, VTA.
They won VTA a few times, right? A few guys?
I believe Kenny has a VTA championship. I believe Jeremy has one. I think James Thompson has one.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry about that.
There he is.
Okay.
Did she spank you?
Had a battery issue. Imagine that.
Oh. Wait,
it's like dumping a mod 12 scale car. Okay.
It's
got you have EA batteries in or what?
Yeah.
We can get you some new ones.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem, Shawn. All good. There's 2 names I want to talk about. The first one, recently Dagger joined your guys' team.
Yeah.
How huge was that for you? And I call you the Awesomatix 12 scale. I don't call you the captain because you're at every race. You're helping all the guys. You and Fabio and all the boys are all together. Yep. So how big was that for your guys' program to have Dagger come on and dominate with that car?
Yeah, that was huge. Joe Trando's, our number 1 guy, and he's not been able to come to races and stuff because he's got family stuff going on now. He's got a couple kids, and he's got to watch them and stuff when his wife's working and stuff. So it's hard for him to get away sometimes. They come to races for 3 or 4 days. So we were looking, kind of seeing, who was out there, and who can we get maybe, and Dagger's name came up, and I was like, well, I think we need to go get that guy. And so the boss man made some texts or calls or whatever, and he got it done somehow. So but it was huge. Dagger, was one of those top guys.
Money talks, Shawn. Money talks. Money talks.
Maybe, and so no, it was huge, and because Dager can wheel a car, obviously, and so not only did we kind of get him from being a competitor, we got him to come up to our team, right, and go right to the front, and that. So I built him a couple cars, and they were just dead on from the get go, and I think he's only lost like one heat race, in all the classes, and that was only because he broke at the nationals. He hit a guy in a sweeper at stock. I think that's the only heat race or any race that he's even lost since January, since he joined the team. So it's just been, it all just kind of came together for him, and his driving style and stuff matched the car really well, and it was just his time, I guess.
Was he top of your guys' list? Or who else is up there with him?
I mean, as far as, he was at the top. I mean, he's one of the top racers, I mean, the only ones that, it was either, it's him or Knapp, or, Trandell, myself, Fabio, and Trandell, and just a few of us. And so if we were, try and get somebody, that had to come from a different team, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, he's on the top of the list. And I said, Hanlick was able to pull that deal together, and Dager kind of wanted to come and run a different car. So it just kind of all worked out at the right time, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was huge. It was absolutely huge for us, and that since Trandell wasn't being able to make just one or two races a year here the last couple of years, so that was huge for us. It was kind of Fabio and I holding the fort down for a while, and we're getting older, and we definitely needed a little bit of help, in that. So yeah, it was all good there. So hopefully continues this year, and we'll go into the next on-road season, and hopefully Trandell will come back, and we can just lock the podiums out, and I'm sure Frank's working. Frank's a longtime racer and chassis owner and track owner and all that good stuff, right? And Frank doesn't quit, and which is good. That's good for the sport, and it's competitive. And now that their car is pretty good now, at least in stock it is. And so it's been a little tougher here the last couple of years since they got their car better, and which has been good for racing. It just wasn't, we were settling things kind of amongst ourselves at the 12 scale Awesomatix table, and so I think overall it's good for the sport when we have competition. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm glad to have Dager on the team for sure.
And how much testing are you guys doing among a team when you guys had a race? Because I forget what race it was, maybe the Huddy race at EA's track. When I walked by the Awesomatix table, one of you guys has your car, like Fabio had his car completely about, Ryan Stevens pit, I remember NYGP had shit everywhere, like cars everywhere. How much stuff are you guys trying and communicating together on, setups and what works and doesn't work?
A lot.
Yeah.
That's one thing we do a lot is we test, and our team, we really help everybody. Like some guy who go out and try something, and it's like, okay, hey, this is the right direction. This is the direction we kind of need to start going with our springs and stuff, and roll centers or whatever it might be. We really communicate, and we try stuff. And if guys, maybe his stuff's not working very well or whatever, I mean, it'll literally be, a guy will, give him another car or rebuild that one, while he's running something different just because maybe he missed something. And we work really hard to race back. I can tell you that. We work well together, and we share the information along, the touring car side. They do. I can't speak too much on them. I just hear them guys because they're actually kind of usually at a different table.
Mhm.
But the 12 scale guys, I can tell you that it's a total team effort. It's, we're going to put an Awesomatix car up as high as we can get it, and it doesn't matter who it is.
That's huge.
If it's Bobby or me, or Dager or Trandell or anybody else that's running, we're going to try and get them guys up as high as we can and try and lock out the podium.
Yeah. And you've also had John Dixon with you guys, who's been tearing it up as well in 12 scale side of things.
Yeah, Dixon comes and runs when he can, run with us and stuff. And we kind of got that monkey off his back when he won Cleveland. He was always fast, and we TQ and kind of run really good, but he just couldn't, for whatever reason, he get taken out in the main or something. And he finally kind of got that off of his back there at Cleveland when he won 13.5, and he basically dominated 13.5 there at Cleveland this year.
Yep.
And he was just the class of the field there, and it was kind of his weekend.
Yep.
And there was a lot of help going with him for me somewhat. Fabio was on the phone with him, and so it's really a team effort. It really truly is.
Yeah. And I want to bring a name up that kind of did an interesting switch this year, but that was huge on your guys' team, Donnie Leah.
Yeah.
I know you and Donnie worked close together. I know you worked on his cars big time at NYGP in October this past year. But then he made an interesting switch to Accelerant for champs. What was your reaction to that? How did that feel as you were just his man? Like, what was your thought process there?
Well, Donnie needed a little bit of a change, a little bit of a boost, just to try and get his mind right. That's why I kind of went to try and help him and be his mechanic. All last summer going into NYGP, we tested a lot together. Donnie and I did, and he was just trying to get back where he, could have interest again, and want to drive hard and stuff. And we did that, and I think he just needed a change to help himself, and that's okay. If that's what it takes, to keep a guy like Donnie in the sport and the hobby. Sometimes you need a change, just change things up and kind of get you motivated again. He needed some kind of motivation, and that. So he decided that he needed a little bit of a change, and that's what happened. And I'm happy for him, and if he stays there or or goes somewhere else or comes back to us, I think it's all good as long as he stays in the sport. I just want to see him stay in the sport. That really goes for anybody, but Donnie's a really good guy. He does a lot for this industry with 360, and keeping a racetrack going, and holding NYGP, so he holds a big race, as you know, and so he does a lot for this sport and hobby. So I just want him to stay in it and stay racing. That's the main thing. So if that's what it takes, to drive somebody else's car for a little while, or whatever, then that's fine.
100%. Yeah, I think it was an interesting shock, but you're right. Everyone needs that switch. Keeps you feeling alive, so it doesn't get.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked just a little bit, but I wasn't totally shocked.
Okay.
Because I just kind of knew, that he was trying to get motivated and stuff, and that's just something that he decided he needed to do. And
100%. We got a good comment here. What if there was a sign somewhere in every racetrack that says, "This is racing. It is difficult. Just man up and come next week"? Probably because you hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Around here, yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people would go home and cry to their wives. Sprinkles, how's it going, my man? GT12 is lots of fun. Yes, sir. Rubber tires, what interested me. Yeah, everyone has their own taste. Some like rubber, some like foam. I mean, foam is obviously a little bit more expensive to outrun and a little pain in the ass to true, but it's a fun as fuck on the track.
Yes, as long as we don't put rubber tire on 17.5 or faster. The rubber tire needs to stay at GT12.
Yes, there was lots of talk about that when they first came out, when Gravity came out with their tire, and guys were testing it in 13.5, and yeah, it looked like shit on the track. It did not look fun.
Yeah, you say I'm kind of silent and stuff. When they were trying to push that, I was a little vocal on that side of it. You
You
might
had
not.
the Facebook comments going?
Yeah,
Oh,
there was a little bit because they were, I just thought it was time to speak up,
yeah.
and so. But yeah, I think rubber tire, like I said, GT12. I think that's fine for there.
Yep.
Let's keep it there, and let the guys learn, and then they can move up, and somebody will show them how to true tires.
Yes. There's a name I want to bring up because when we had him on this show, I'm not too sure if you watched the episode yet. If you haven't, you should. His face lit up. Massive smile came up when I brought up your name. And Max Mackler, I brought up your name, Shawn Rayfield, because I know you guys have a very close connection. He basically gave the worlds to you. He basically said you won him that worlds. When you think back of 2014 in Florida, what comes to mind when you and Mackler worked together to win the Spec Worlds?
Yes, so Max and I have a really good relationship. We just hit it off. Really, I met him at NYGP one year, and and we just kind of said hi, and then he come to out to the Denver race. I'm out 5280 there for the Mile High Nationals. Oh man, I don't know what the year that was, but it was several years ago. And well, it was right when the A12 came out. The A12 had kind of just came out, and he brought his A12 with him, and Henrik said, "Hey, Max needs some help with that." And so I went out and watched him drive and stuff, and I was like, man, this guy can kind of wheel I just thought he was a touring car guy, which he was, but I was like, man, he can wheel a 12 scale car. I mean, he was right. I mean, he was turning times right there with John Dixon and EA. And I'm like, man, this guy can drive. And so I got a hold of his car, and let's just say it wasn't quite up to snuff. And he was driving as well as he was. So Max could wheel that thing. And so I kind of worked on it and kind of showed him some things, and and what he needed, kind of do and stuff. And he got the car better, and it handled a little better, and he drove a little better. And I think he still ended up finishing third. But I seen that he could drive a 12 scale car. Yeah. And I'm like, man, so, and I was just kind of a little taken back to, a touring car guy, really quickly picked up as quick as he did on a 12 scale car, in 13.5. And so we communicated a little bit in that time frame leading up to 2023, going into Snowbirds. And he came over with Reinhardt, and I think that year, I think Tim came with him. Tim Wall came with him also. I think that's the year he came. But I know those two, Max and Reinhardt, came, and Max and I had a little conversation about Worlds, and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to Worlds," and he's like, "Oh, okay, good," and I said, "It's 13.5, it's kind of not my thing, but I'm probably gonna go," and and I kind of mentioned that, I said, if I can mechanic a car, I said that would probably be the best thing for me. Yeah. And it was just kind of off the cuff kind of comment. Well, back Max, being the racer that he is, I guess there was an opportunity there, and he kind of asked me if I was interested really in mechanicing a car for him, and then possibly Reinhardt, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'll be interested, So we had some more conversations there at Snowbirds, and that, and I kind of asked the team guys and stuff at the end, because it was looking like it could be a possibility, and so I asked around to make sure everybody was kind of cool with me wrenching on Max's car, even though he's from Germany, And everybody was like, yeah, whatever it takes for Awesomatix to win. That was basically the comment, whatever it takes for us to win. And it's like, okay, so we had some more talks, and it came about that was going to happen. And we went to work. Let's see, that was in February. Kind of got everything done in March. And April, Max and we started working on Worlds in March. And there was a lot of testing and a lot of communication. And Max and I just hit it off, and it worked really well. And he came up to your guys' race in Canada somewhere during that time.
Yep.
Up there somewhere.
Yeah, he was at Phoenix, wasn't he?
Phoenix,
Did he come to Phoenix, both of them?
Yep.
That time,
Yeah. And we were, and at that race, we were communicating and working together while he was there also, by text messages and stuff. And then when he came and we had the warm up race at EA's, I had built some cars for him, and we started running for that warm up race, and Max in this wheeler car. I mean, that guy is just on the money. And we started practice, and because that was the first time that Max had drove one of my cars.
Okay. And
for the most part, and I mean, we were right there, right off the get go. And I was like, man, if this guy wheels his car like this, we have a chance. And we kept working, and we tested for 7 days at EA's. Max and I were there for 7 days, testing every day before the race, and then 2 days after that warm up race. And so we put a lot of work into that, and then we went to Worlds, and Max was on point. I mean, that guy, the only little hiccup that we had, which you mentioned, in your guys' show there, A2 didn't go so well for us, and I think the car was just a little off with the tire sauce and stuff because of the introduction delay. So I think the car was just a little off, and that run just didn't go our way. And so I told Max after the run, I said, we're going to be fine. I just told him, I said, it's just an A main now. That's all it is. We're just going to go into a regular A main, and you're on the pole, and just drive the thing. Just drive it, and it's no different than a regular A main, and, just do your thing. Is what I told him. And that guy wheeled that car, and I mean, it was lights out for, and I was just ecstatic for him. I was so happy because he wanted to win so bad. Max he's a true racer. Like, he wants to win, no matter, and he wants to put it on guys. He reminds me somewhat of Trandell. I worked with Trandell for so long that, no matter how good it is, he wants to lap, he can be a half lap up on everybody, and he wants to lap everybody. So and Max is like that a little bit. He wants to push the car, out front. He's not quite as like Trandell and wants to lap everybody, but he wants to get out front and make sure he has the best car. And yeah, it just worked out. And yeah, it was just an awesome weekend there at Worlds, or actually the whole week. It couldn't have went any better, pretty much. But the effort that was put into it is what won us that race. It was the effort, and that's the one thing that if you may not be the best driver, you may not have all the money that somebody else has, but if you put the effort in, no one can take the effort away from you, right? If you put all the effort in it that you can, and you do your very best, then that's the best you can do. If you just kind of, I'll just, we'll prep for Worlds a couple weeks before, and we'll just go and run, you may not get, you may not have that success unless you put the effort in. and I can tell you, Max put the effort in. He was practicing over in Germany, and we were talking, and, about every time he went to test, we would talk about the test, and yeah, that guy, it just couldn't win any better. So I was just glad that he picked me to help him out, and I know it was tough on him because nobody touches Max's cars. So I know it was really hard on him a little bit, not to, to be wrenching on the car, but ultimately, the main prize was won, and that's what we went there to do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was just great. I couldn't ask for it to go any better.
What's the communication like at that level? When you're pro level, let's say he went out for first practice and he comes back. Does he just say basic stuff like the car doesn't steer more, or how in depth do you guys get with the car, certain parts of the track, first part of the runs, end of the run? Like, how technical were you guys getting in terms of communication?
So at Worlds, I would say it wasn't so technical at Worlds. Where all of that came about was the 7 days of testing at EAs. It was really a true, like Max, you can kind of, relate. It was true driver and crew chief, like a real car. It was in depth, the car's good in, it needs to rotate or doesn't need to rotate so much in the center, and, the car's good or bad off the corner. So it was, just like real racing and stuff, entry, mid corner, and off. And we would talk about it, and we talked about it extensively in testing. With the 12 scale car, there's it's very fine tuning on them to get them perfect and to separate you from the other guy. It's just the little things when you get to that level. And we did a lot of that in the testing part. When it came to Worlds, it was just more, hey, I needed to turn a little less, or, I needed to, we needed to turn just a little bit harder in the center here. And I would just tell Max, okay, I got you, I got it, the car be what you need the next round. And that's just kind of the way it went. And as far as my part, as far as Worlds, as far as setup, we were really close when we got there. I had a second car that I had done some things to it to try, and just to make the car a little freer, a little more corner speed in it. And that's the car we ended up running. We tried it in, I think, like the second last practice. Because at Worlds, practice is all very organized. You don't go out and run after the races or run before the races. You run in your groups, and you only get like 6 runs, and that's all the practice you get. So there's a little bit, I think, a little bit of warm up in the morning. But I had a second car there that we hadn't tried a couple things on, and I wanted to try. And I told Max, I said, I think we need to try this car. And we put that car down, and that car was just a tick quicker up front, but we had so much more speed at the end of the run. We were good from like the 4-minute mark on, and a lot of guys were falling off at that point, and that's where we were pulling guys at the Worlds. But to answer your question, at the Worlds, it wasn't too much. It was just like, I need just a little bit more right here. I need a little bit less right here. And that was it. And once we started qualifying in the mains, basically we didn't change the car. The car was basically the same. The only thing we changed was the tire dope a little bit from run to run. And really that was it. They were very, very small changes. The big thing and the most critical thing was keeping the car the same from run to run. It is the hard part. With the glue, glue and tires on 12 scale, you can mess a car up really, really bad with just the glue on a 12 scale car. Yeah. A little bit too less, and the car will go out there and want to, hook or spin out or, be too hard to drive. You get too much glue on it, then it's going to push, and it's not going to turn. And, so that was the main thing for me at Worlds, was making sure once we got the car where it needed to be, was making sure that thing was the same every time it went out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Max done his job, and I did my job, and we were fortunate enough to win.
You guys put on a dominant performance. I think you guys only lost one qualifier. I think maybe to Mark Stiles, another Awesomatix driver.
Yeah, I think we lost two.
Okay, was it two?
Yeah,
because there were six total, right? I believe.
Yes, I think we lost two. But you got to remember, we were feeding Mark information too.
Okay.
Actually, feeding him information because we were trying. Like I said, we always go to win, but we also want to lock out the podium.
Yes.
So there's a, when you have teammates and stuff, you're trying to beat your teammate, and you're trying, but also to keep them guys up on the podium also. So they were getting some information. We were trying to get Joe up there, and Fabio, and and Craig Xavier coming to run with us. We were trying to get as much information we could to them guys too. Yeah. And that, so, and we just missed it by one spot there from, and EA was running good, and he was getting information, from Kemp and stuff. Kemp was helping him, I'm sure. And along with Max was, probably relaying some message, over there to them guys. So, because Max was kind of running the team a little bit along with Hanulik as far as, the U.S. side versus the guys from around the world there that, were there representing Awesomatix. So, because Max kind of handles all that on that side. So, yeah, we were just trying to lock the podium out was the thing once we knew we had good cars, for sure. So.
And what was that feeling like, when A3 concluded, he won world champs? I mean, only a handful of people know that feeling. You're one of them.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like?
Well, it was a relief more than anything. One, the car didn't break or fall apart. Okay, as the mechanic, that's the biggest fear. Is does a screw back out of the pod or something, or does the pinion come loose? When it comes down to one run, being a mechanic it's more stressful than driving, because that car is your responsibility. And if something's not right with it, it's not like you're working on your own car, right? And if you mess something up or whatever, well, man, I kind of messed that up, and okay, it's kind of your own fault, right?
Yeah.
But if you're the mechanic, the driver doesn't have anything to do with it. So that's the nerve-wracking part. And to tell you the truth, I was just glad it was over. because James Stewart was Mark Stiles' mechanic.
Yeah.
And we were both there. We were over there just sweating. We're just sweating. Because it's nerve-wracking, because you don't know how a 12 scale is going to handle, for sure, until it goes around there and makes its first laps. And then it sits on the grid for a couple minutes, getting everybody lined up and ready to go. Well, sometimes that thing will do something stupid the first two laps, just because it's a 12 scale car. and so it's nerve wracking. It really is. So,
and what do you guys do end of day? Like when the day was over, you had your practice runs. Were you tearing that car right down to chassis and relubing everything and checking? Or do you just kind of put it in the bag, make it sure it sleeps good, and then bring it back out the next day?
The car went in my bag, and left the racetrack with me every night.
Yep.
And the car never came apart.
Okay.
The only thing that I did to it, every couple of rounds was I relubed the front kingpins. Other than that, it didn't get touched.
Okay.
If it's running good, you know, it never came apart. We never had a bad wreck or anything like that. So it was just like routine, normal maintenance, just to make sure everything was okay on the car. You know, it went on a setup station every round, just to make sure, you know, that the camber, you know, toe in was exactly where it should be, you know, just in case, you know, and the car got tweaked every run, you know, which you should always tweak your 12 scale car every run, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so, no, it was just normal. It wasn't one of them things like, you know, you would think that, all right, it's worlds and, you know, the car comes totally apart. Because on a 12 scale car, you can miss one little thing and just be off on one little thing, and that car not go out there and do the same thing. So if that thing's running good, it's just normal routine stuff, you know, just normal checks and, you know, and just make sure it ain't going to fall apart, basically.
Yeah, no, that's a great accomplishment. Again, you're one of the only people in the world that can say they've done that. So hats off to you and Max. It was awesome to see. And again, when I brought your name up to Max on the show, I think he got a little giggly inside because he was very happy when I brought your name up.
Yeah. Max is a good guy. And so, and I know he's appreciative. That trophy behind me there, that was courtesy of Max. He got a replica of it and sent that to me. I was totally surprised. He said I had a package coming, and I thought it was just maybe, you know, a couple 12 scale cars or something we were going to do something with or whatever. And my wife Holly, she got the package and she's like, and I was at work at the time, and she's like, this package from Max is really big, and it's like from Arizona or somewhere, you know, something like that. And I'm like, that can't be right. And I got home and I seen it was from Max, and I opened it up and the trophy was inside of there. And man, I couldn't believe it. I was just I was in shock. So that was an awesome thing that he did for me, and he was also nice enough to give me well, it ended up being the practice car, but that car that's sitting up top there was the primary car. Yeah. So he was nice enough to give that car to me so that I had a little keepsake from it, because I thought that was about the only thing that, you know, keepsake I was going to get. I had no idea that there was a trophy coming.
Yeah.
So it sits up there on top of that trophy, and you know.
And you were going to go to Worlds this past year, right?
Yes.
And rent on his car too?
I was all set. I had my Chinese visa. Max had my plane tickets already and the hotel ticket, you know, booked up, and we were set. And again, there a lot of work went into Worlds there for China. Max was over there testing some, and Max was putting the effort in there, and we were on the, you know, computer, you know, and the phones and stuff again, getting ready for Worlds, and it just didn't happen, you know, with the way some things in the world started going. So, you know, Worlds are going to happen, you know, sometime probably in 27. I'm guessing, since Touring Car Worlds are going to be, I think, in December sometime. Yeah. So I'm sure it's going to, you know, obviously it's going to have to be after that. So that'll be for Infmar to decide exactly when it is. But yeah, as far as I know, I'm still all set to go, wherever that might be, you know. So I'm good wherever it is. If Max wants me there and stuff, I'll be there.
We'll tell FJ to give you the time off. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, he already knows I'm going. So.
Sorry, great race for Charles Hill in G12. Yes, gang. Yep. A lot of big races coming up. It's already ended July, which is crazy. So carpet season will be here in a month and a half, and every month there's some big race. You know, September, October, everyone. You know, Full Send RC says Ray. I guess that's your nickname.
It is.
It is.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep.
call you the silent assassin. That's, I'm not gonna call you Ray Ray. I'm gonna call you silent assassin.
The Minnesota boys up there, Guida and Van Aert and Skittles and those guys up in that area, and Charlie Menard and that they all called me Ray Ray. So that's from a long time ago, and that's what they still call me. So, and a lot of guys do that, have picked up on that and call me Ray Ray. So it all works.
It all works.
Yeah.
All right, silent assassin. We got one more big question for you to end the show off.
Yeah.
And it came in from a viewer here. It's a big one. All right. Have a sip. Yep.
I'm ready.
Here we go. Ready. Here we go. Why do you not run modified?
Well, so the first thing is believe it or not, I don't have enough talent to run modified.
Okay.
I have tried it a few times back, let's say 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. I tried it a couple of times, and it's just way too hard for me. It's not fun for me. It's like every lap, I think it's just going to get destroyed. I'm going to turn into the sweeper, or it's too fast. Especially at my age, it's even 10 years ago, at 42, 43, it was just too fast for me. I couldn't keep up with it, and my hands would be so tensed up. I mean, just from gripping the steering wheel and stuff, it just wasn't enjoyable. I don't run 13.5 kind of for the same reason. Especially as I get, every year I get older, obviously, like the rest of us, it just gets to be too fast for me. Okay. And I just can't drive it like I want to. And I run 13.5 just to run another class and help the guys out, the team guys with setups and stuff. That's the thing I kind of do, even in stock 12 scale. Sometimes I'll go out with something on the car that, may not be fast, but, let's see if this is a road we need to go down, and kind of sacrifice my run to see if we can't, find something to be a little faster in the run if we need to for the next round. But modified's just too fast. I think there's only 4 or 5 guys in the U.S. that can even do it competitively.
Yeah.
And there's, and there may be only, 10 or 15 in the world that can do it, competitively.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's too fast.
Yeah.
It's
stupid.
It's just too fast. I know those guys that do it. They like the speed and stuff. But again, there's only 5 of them in the United States that can do it competitively with each other. There's a few guys that try to run it and stuff, and they do well for the amount of speed that's in the car, but they're still a couple laps down. Yeah. It's not competitive, and that's the reason. Even if they slowed the cars down, I still couldn't run modified because, like I said, it's hard for me to run 13.5. So
next week we have Clayton Young
racing. If we could slow the modified cars down,
yeah,
I think that'd be better. I've said for a long time. I mean, what would 13.5 look like if you had Sam and Kemp and Hebert and EA and Trandell and and Dager and Fabio and some of them guys that can run 13.5 really well, and Knapp, you throw another 5 or 6 guys in there that are top level, bringing those modified guys into there, right? We would have a heck of a show. I think. Oh yeah. We still have good shows in 13.5 and in stock sometimes. But man, if you bring those guys down, I think it would be a really good show.
Well, next weekend we have Clayton Young on the show, Roar President. So I'll ask him to introduce a new 19.5 turn for you. We'll call it the Shawn Rayfield class.
When you go back, I can bring some of my Bush stuff out, right?
There you go.
There you go.
I think I still got some full cells laying around too. So,
There you go.
But we'll see you
Yeah.
this year at the Canadian Nationals, correct?
I am planning on it.
April
It
1st.
is on my schedule.
Okay.
The only thing that would deter that would be Worlds.
We're bigger than Worlds. I think like what 50 guys go to Worlds, like it's nothing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
But with Worlds being canceled, it actually turned out to be a good thing because I was able to come up there this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the reason I came up, because I was like, well, I'm already planning to go somewhere, so I might as well go race, and your guys' stuff was on the calendar, so
And you had a big smile the whole time I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a small racetrack, and it reminded me of going up to Norcar at the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, nice tight track and good racing. I think we had good racing on it, and things went well, and I was fortunate enough to win, which makes it a little nicer,
A little more fun.
and that. So the race was really good. I liked being inside the mall, like inside the center court.
Yeah.
That I think that was really neat. I do like the small racetrack. I think if it could be just a little bit bigger, just a hair bigger, might be just a little bit better. But I'll take what you guys got. We
always wish it could be bigger. They got those old lamp posts there. Right?
Yeah.
But every
I
year
think I would take that over
they-
than I guess you guys were in the old like
Target.
Target store or something like that. Or,
that
and
track
it was just huge. I mean, I seen some videos of that thing, and it was like,
that track
oh my
was
gosh,
60.
I mean, it's
that
huge.
track was 60 by 110.
Yeah, kind of like IIC and stuff.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I think I would much rather be on the small track out in center court than that.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. And like I said, I kind of like the small racetracks, and I think it kind of makes it better for everybody. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. You guys ran a really good race.
Thank you.
I was really impressed. I was like, oh wow, this is pretty
Thank
good.
you very much.
And
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And
yeah, I told other guys, I think we need to get up there. And
you won't want to miss this next one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see where Worlds is, because
what, the who?
I don't even know. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
30 guys will go.
What's that?
30 guys will go.
Maybe 50.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, but no, it is on my calendar. I can tell you that much. Yeah, awesome. I am planning on coming back as long as it fits into the schedule.
Yep.
And if it doesn't happen this year, I will be back the following year. It's going to be on my schedule from now on, just like NYGP, Snowbirds, Roar Nats. You guys are on the schedule now. So,
awesome.
I really liked what you guys got going on up there. I really did. It was tremendous, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, Shawn, it's been a fantastic 2 hours. We learned a lot about you, stuff I didn't know. I think you give a lot of insights on, who you are now, who the Silent Assassin is, and a little bit of what you do behind the scenes for everybody. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having the show, and I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Shawn. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll get you at the track next time.
Thank you, sir.
Get you down the road.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one, my friend.
Yep. See ya.
Talk to you. Another great show has come to an end.
Hey, Maxie.
Silent Assassin, fast 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. A little view here. This guy, a mechanic side of things. He also works behind the scenes at Awesomatix USA. So
that's really cool.
Really cool to see. Really cool. Great guy for the hobby. And again, I brought my cars to him at the track before, and without a hesitation, he stops what he's doing. He gives me a hand. He's a great guy to have. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to go talk to Shawn. Great guy. Great guy.
That's what the hobby's all about, bro. And
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Yes,
so huge thank you to Shawn. Next week we have Clayton Young coming on, Roar President. So we're going to bash him with Roar questions.
We're going to rip that apart.
Oh, yeah. I already got a lot of people asking what the hell's Roar.
There might not be a Roar when we're done, buddy.
Ha. We'll see. We got to keep our show here. We got to keep our show. But Clayton Young's on next week. we're rescheduling you on. So thank you everyone for checking us out. The popularity has been growing big time. So, and thank you to all our sponsors, Chaos Hobby Sport, for coming on, and all the other ones you see on the bottom screen. Support the guys that support the hobby people. That's all I can say. Without them, we would not have racetracks or hobby shops, etc.
Support your local track and support your local hobby shop. I'll say it
100%
at the end of every show, bro.
Yep. So thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. Have a good weekend, everyone, and good week. And catch you all on the next one next Monday.
Thank you, everybody. See you, Maxie.
See you guys. Have a good night.